Alright, loves, this reading is going to be messages from the Lord Neptune. I have recently decided to connect with this beautiful entity. This is the stone he chose. He chose the Hush Tarot as his deck that he likes. If you notice in the background, since it's Christmas time, I have the Grinch, I have Max. But he wanted to be the next one to come on for my next reading, so here he is. For your stone reading, you're someone who naturally makes waves. You're someone who stands really strong and tall and defiant when it comes to others and what you've built, what you've created for yourself. I wouldn't call you a stubborn old fool, but it would definitely take a lot to change your opinion of somebody. Let's say in your intuition, you know someone's hiding a secret from you, and you can just tell by their behavior they have a secret from you. And it doesn't matter what they say to you, you know they have a secret. And then finally, when that secret gets revealed, people realize that you're not just being like stubborn or ridiculous. Some people think you're stubborn towards them because you're insecure or something like that. Other people know it's because you just stand strong in your power and your beliefs. You've always had a strong connection to the other side, and you've just kind of always listened openly. The more people get to know you, the more they realize that not everything on the surface matters. You're someone who's like that, and you come across as someone who tries to make waves or tries to be a certain way against people on purpose, but it's not that you're being any certain type of way. You're just reacting to the energy that's given, whether it's seen by your eyes or not. I would say you have a deeper intuition and knowing following you right now in this part of your lifetime. You might be finding it hard to flow more at this time is also kind of what I'm getting for you. So that's your stone reading with the lovely Lord Neptune. Where should we put it? We'll put it right there, why not? Now pick number 1, number 2, number 3, and then we'll have some collective advice for the end. So let's get, he actually wants me to go ahead and just read each one. So I'll go ahead and get started with number 1. So number 1, Lord Neptune, what do you have for number 1? We have 2 that popped out. Let's see. We have, nothing can stop you unless you let it. It's a swords card. I do love the Hush Tarot. It is a tarot of animal symbolism and humans together, so that coming to mind, you might be someone who could connect with this deck, or you might have a lot of animals that you see and maybe you're not realizing that they are symbols. Everything around you has a spiritual meaning. Let's say an armadillo crosses your path. You can look up, what does an armadillo mean? If I remember right, it means you're protecting yourself, something along those lines. But you're being called to look at the animalistic symbolism around you, what animals are doing around you, near you, etc. Pour emotion into creative outlet. The Chariot. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly or not, but we'll let it be anyway. You can always purchase the deck. I get most of my decks online, or I make them myself. This I haven't made myself. This you can buy online. So it's called the Hush Tarot, and it's an English version. I really feel like you're being pushed into looking up animal symbolism, if nothing else. Enjoy your success. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And I'll do one more of these. We'll do bottom of the deck energy. Thank you, Lord Neptune. Leave before you break completely. Maybe a lot of animals keep running in opposite directions in front of you. Something like that. Or they run to you and away from someone else. That's very specific. You have the strength to go forward. The Page of Swords. You definitely see people's secrets. Number one. And because it doesn't faze you, you'll say you don't like someone, but you won't necessarily say why. And that causes people to think you're sensitive or overly emotional. It's really them not accepting that you can see things others can't. And you should be grateful of your talent and not necessarily pay attention to others who would use or abuse your talents. You try to be passive with it. You try not to draw too much attention to the fact that if you don't like someone, that you don't have to stay. You're someone who definitely makes excuses as to why not to be around others. Maybe not necessarily always telling others why. Because for you, sometimes it really is just a feeling. And you're just being asked to keep trusting in that feeling. I feel like specifically you've been asking about someone, whether or not they have some kind of secret from you. And it's not... Here's the thing about secrets. We're not always supposed to know everybody's secrets. Some secrets are sad or dark, and it has nothing to do with lack, and it has nothing to do with all the work you ever do in the world. Sometimes there are just cracks in your foundation, and you recognize people who sometimes just will always have a crack in their foundation. They're always going to want to be just a little bit broken, and there's nothing wrong with that so long as they don't try to break other people. You recognize people who will try to break you first. And you're kind of cold at first, and people don't understand why. And sometimes people will be friends with someone for up to 3 or more years and finally find out a truth and say you're right, and yet you feel like they don't listen to you. You're being reminded it's not about other people listening to you. It's about you having the knowledge and trying to get people to listen. It's not up to you what people do with the information. And whatever kind of information you give, just remember you don't owe anyone anything. And just like they don't owe you anything back. So you're being asked to remember that in your exchanges with others. And to keep sticking to that inner knowing, because you are right. These are your messages from Lord Neptune. Number 1, many blessings. I'm just gonna use his stone to clear the energy rather than do it myself. He's a bit different. Let's see what you got so far. Number 2. First, we have the King of Pentacles, focused on goals and not distractions. I saw a pair of scissors resting right here. You don't look like someone who has a lot going on, but you do. Just because you look clean, clear, and crisp, it does not mean you don't have your hands in many different jars of peanut butter or jelly or it's almost like people think you look too clean or you come across too crisp, almost like you never had to get dirty or something, but yet you tell these stories of things you've been through. It's very interesting so far. And then we have the Lovers. Plan together, not separate. People feel like you leave them out of the loop too much. They don't really feel like they're a part of your life like you think they do. You're being asked to be more mindful and tell people that you do appreciate and love that they're in your life, because we're not here to just always assume that. You're someone who says what they mean and means what they say, but sometimes you forget that words can be that simple, like I love you and I care about you. I feel like you could have maybe had a recent disagreement with someone, or you feel separated from those around you. If that does not apply to you, this is not your main message, but I'm sure there's a message in here for you. Leave before you break completely. The Six of Swords. When you feel like you need an emotional break from someone, that is perfectly fine. Just make sure every day to reach out to those that you care about, okay? Because people need that. You're being asked to remember that, number 2. People need to be reminded with you, because you come off as caring and your words are meaningful, but as I said, it feels like you don't do it very often. And it kind of leaves people feeling like an outsider even when they're on the inside with you. We have the Magician. Bridge the gap between spirit and physical world. You know that you can feel people's energy. You know that when you read people, that you don't necessarily always have to say words to have meaning. But some people need those words. Some people need words of affirmation. It's a love language. Alright, this will be the last of your cards. You definitely got more than number 1. Listen to the other person rather than your own delusions. That's your next card. 8 of Swords. People have a tendency to get stuck in their head sometimes if they don't get that affirmation of love from you. So they confuse themselves. Don't take it personally, basically. The Moon. Find your wisdom in your darkness. The Moon stands for illusion. So we have delusions and the card of illusion. New dawn, new day, the star. Hunting we will go, is what that part says right here. I don't know if you can see it or not under the bird. You have a tendency to trap yourself in your mind too, in your own darkness. This reflection in others is simply a reflection of something of you that you've lost and gained in the past. Look at losses to create gains, death. You often meet many people who share the same past behavior, the same kind of energy you've been in before, people who mirror you. Not only to teach you, but to teach them, and not only to remind you, but to remind them to always listen and look and see the signs when you're going through something. You're just really being asked to be emotional when you have emotions for others. Even if it feels strange, I'm kind of getting, you're someone who easily disconnects and you find it easy to push others away. And the people you're close to, but you don't feel close to anybody really, is kind of your energy. It's your pain. And you feel like everyone around you here lately is a lesson. It's not about just lessons, it's about remembering what's important. And are you too busy trying to find a lesson in something or trying to focus on something rather than just feeling something? You're being asked to not think of everything, but to feel things. And to feel things with other people. It is good to feel things alone, but if you do have people who are close to you, let them feel close to you. Those are your messages from Lord Neptune, number 2. Many blessings. I'm just going to clear the energy. Do it one more time. Okay. I feel like number 3, you feel like you need to clear the air with someone, or someone feels like they need to clear the air with you, or something along those lines. You feel unclear about something. Something someone said, or something someone did, or it's kind of your energy in this moment. We have the King of Cups, balance of intellect and emotion. You like to keep that kind of balance in your life. You like to know where you stand when it comes to the people around you. The Page of Cups, new inspiration. When people are with you, they do feel like a bit of a kid again. You could be a bit cheeky, and what I mean by that is your sense of humor is a little, we'll say quirky, is what I'll call it. Do not hide behind others, the Two of Swords. I think you might hide behind jokes when it comes to your emotions. If someone hurts your feelings, you make a joke out of it or something along those lines. These are the last I'll take. We have use another perspective, the Wheel. I just heard the Wheel of Fortune does not feel so fortunate for you. You're kind of like this ant here. Yeah, he's stuck in the middle of the pond. But yet, at least he has safety from drowning. And who's not to say he won't find a way out eventually, but don't sit in that emotion and just make a joke out of it. Sit in that emotion and actually feel it. And if you don't want to make a joke about it, you don't have to. You don't have to cope with things. Think before charging in the Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is all about your thought patterns and your emotions, if I'm honest. I'll actually do this. Your goals benefit those around you, 7 of Pentacles. If I'm honest, you feel a bit like an exhausted warrior. But I kind of feel like you're exhausting yourself in the emotions department. I heard watery ideas. We have the Two of Pentacles, take chances despite the ups and downs. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't matter how people make you feel. You'll push through anyway. I feel like you might prank yourself just to make others laugh, or that you have, or you've had that habit of, that's how you connect, is laughter. Eight of Swords, listen to the other person rather than your own delusions. I think you forget, everyone is very different. And not everybody has the same sense of humor. And not everybody thinks the same thing when words are said. Like, for example, I could say the word apple. Some people think, oh, apples are delicious. Some people might think of the Garden of Eden. Some people might think of bearing fruit, prosperity is coming. Apples mean different things. The way you are, you're an apple and everybody else is an apple, but don't forget you're all a different flavor. The reason you have a tendency to have misunderstandings with others is you kind of cause yourself to create misunderstandings yourself. You don't always understand why you do the things you do, but yet you continue to do them because they make you balanced. Or so you think. But this isn't a very balanced way of being. It's just a way of being that you've learned. You're being asked to look at your emotional patterns and how you satisfy your emotional cravings or emotional pain, just how you cope with your emotions and the way you view emotions. The fact that you separate yourself from others so much. It's almost like you don't want to know what they think of you. And I'm getting that for someone very specifically. I'm being drawn to all these vines wrapped around people. Like, this vine is wrapped around their hand. It's almost as though there are vines wrapped around her throat. They're trying to pull on the vines to get free, but they can't. And this person is completely free of vines, but doesn't look as though they're feeling anything at all. And this person's got so many vines. They're not even alive anymore. You need to be more careful about making yourself into such a spectacle just to get love, attention, and affection. If you feel like when it comes to emotions, if you have to make jokes because that's how you feel love, you don't feel loved. That's kind of you saying love is a joke and you would like it, but you're not sure if you could get it. Discovering what's next. I feel like you've been wanting to figure out what's next in your life, or what new this, that, or the other, but if you're not really sure how to respond to things emotionally, not a lot of new things are going to trickle in for you because you're already overwhelmed as it is. So be wary of being overwhelmed by your emotions or by covering them up to make others feel comfortable. Whew, that is a really big message for you. Number 3 from Neptune. Many blessings. Clear that. Alright, many blessings to all. If you have stayed for the collective advice, what collective advice is Lord Neptune giving my beautiful collective? That one kept sticking out. I'll get one more. 2 more? Alright, and that's it. Let's see what we have. Find your inner truth. We have justice. Being drawn to the fact that she's naked, so just a naked truth about yourself. Be willing to admit things to yourself as you bare your soul. You have what it takes, leader, the King of Swords. Your mind can't always tell you what your justice is, but your heart can, is the message I was getting. Balance of intellect and emotion, the King of Cups. And then we have your goals benefit you and those around you, the Seven of Pentacles. Take chances despite the ups and downs, the Two of Pentacles. I'm suddenly getting the song. I don't really know the words. Like, for all acquaintance be forgot. I'll just hum it because I don't know the lyrics. Nothing can stop you unless you let it. 7. Everyone here's being asked to stop worrying about being such a stable emotional rock for everyone else when you can't be one for yourself. Always remember that your emotions set the tone for not only you, but everyone else in the room. You have your own truth and you share it in the way you know best. In the way you know makes your life go round the way you want it to. Whether or not it benefits others can be questionable. And sometimes you find it questionable as well. If you're questioning it so much, why are you doing it? Is really the main message, the main advice to be taken by Lord Neptune at this time. We have work creates dreams underneath. What you focus on, what you create, what you do creates what will be. And the more powerful, the more passionate, the more you feel it, the more you will push towards it or away from it. I heard away for it. That was weird. And I went to say that. What are you pushing and pulling at? What are you pulling towards you? What are you pushing away? What are you thinking and feeling at the same time? You're being asked to distinguish these things. This came up for everybody, most definitely. These are your messages, my beautiful collective from Neptune. We hope you've enjoyed this reading with us. Love, Magi Goddess. Love, Neptune. Many blessings to all. And until next time, loves.